welcome you all to our rally for public education today, and I'm going to try to not read maybe, but legislation right now has left the Senate Ed Committee that will change the face of education in the state of Idaho unless we can get legislators to listen to us and stop it. It's in the full Senate now this week, and it's demeaning and it's disheartening to teachers and our profession, and it shows an utter and total disrespect for teachers, administrators, parents, students, and school trustees. Senate Bill 1108 has nothing to do with budget shortfalls. It's simply an attack on collective bargaining rights and the fair treatment of Idaho teachers, and it will affect every educator in Idaho and every other public service worker because there's bills following behind this one. It completely annihilates any rights educators have, and further, it makes the idea of coming to teach in Idaho a really bad idea and a last resort for many educators. How will Idaho be able to attract and retain highly qualified educators if it gets rid of fair employment practices?
It won't.
True. Idaho will become a revolving door for the teaching profession. No teacher, young or experienced, will come to Idaho to teach if they get rid of our fair employment rights. It's truly a demoralizing act toward our teachers. This Senate bill eliminates the teachers' rights to continuing contract and seniority. Continuing contract doesn't keep ineffective teachers in the classroom, folks. It keeps highly qualified and effective teachers in the classroom. That's what it's for. Without fair employment practices, teachers' seniority and protection rights will be gone, and districts will be able to fire teachers for arbitrary reasons without giving them any reason at all. They would lose their right to due process hearings, and contracts would be eliminated. Contracts that help teachers and families and the districts plan for their futures. This legislation also bans negotiations regarding class sizes, lesson planning, safety, and other education issues that help schools work better for everyone. By throwing out healthy negotiated agreements that we've worked on for decades, since the early 70s, and that the trustees of our districts and educators have all agreed to. These ensure the healthy teaching environments, which are the healthy learning environments for our children. And it will remove the 99% protection for our schools so that they will no longer be able to do their budgeting for the next school year with any kind of a surety. In the New York Times, U.S. Secretary Arne Duncan said teachers' unions can help solve many of the challenges facing public schools. This is what Idaho educators have been doing since the early 70s. Districts and educators have worked together through collective bargaining to design many programs and policies that enhance and improve student learning conditions and educators' working conditions. These pieces go hand in hand. Mr. Duncan further said that school boards and teachers and superintendents should form broad and robust partnerships to boost student achievement. And he stated good labor management relations create the conditions that drive success in our schools. These education bills do not advocate for good labor management relationships in local districts around Idaho. Rather, they advocate removing local control by restricting what school boards and teachers can discuss, effectively removing a teacher's voice from any discussion about their working and learning conditions. They advocate removing parents' choice about if and when a student will be educated by a computer rather than a teacher. And they advocate removing a district's ability to budget as it sees fit to educate students in the manner parents and educators know is good for students. Mr. Luna left everyone out of the development of his plans. Everyone except the businesses around the nation who will profit off the backs of Idaho's children and educators. Idaho can do better. In paraphrasing Mary Bell, the Wisconsin Education Association president, where they're fighting similar battles, she says teachers, association educators are the voice for our students and their schools. This is about protecting our rights. The members of our union the Idaho Education Association, are committed to serving our communities and our schools and our students. Our members are the voice for schools and students in Idaho.
Yes.
The only part of Mr. Luna's plans that educators were involved in was the pay for performance piece. But funds are needed to increase pay through this plan. Only those funds cannot come, my mouth is frozen, those funds cannot come at the cost of 1,000 educators. And performance is more than a test score. With these bills, 50% or more of a teacher's evaluation would rely on test scores. The school modernization bill removes everybody's voice, including parents and students, by mandating online classes and mobile computing devices and paying for them by eliminating 1,000 Idaho jobs. Parents and students should be allowed to decide for themselves whether and when to use online courses.
Yes.
Change is needed, but change should not happen without the professional educators and the parents included in the discussion.
Right.
Encourage to teach, it says in our rush to reform education, we've forgotten a simple truth. Reform will never be achieved by renewing appropriations, restructuring schools, rewriting curricula, revising texts if we continue to demean and dishearten the human resource called the teacher, on whom so much depends. Idahoans are willing to pay more taxes. I was on a 3-hour computer meeting with Shirley Ringo, Representative Ringo, running a forum down in Boise, and everybody almost got up to say they would be willing to pay more taxes. These reform plans that Mr. Luna's need to be rejected, and instead revenues must be enhanced. Many bills like Rep. Ringo and Trail's bill, which is HB 29, would lower sales tax. It would remove 10 exemptions that are no longer equitable, and it would put taxes on some services that only those who use those services would have to pay. We also have, oh gosh, Miss Brown, hello, wave your hand, where are you? Judy, thank you. Judy Brown is here with petitions for you to sign if you agree with the fact that we need to raise revenue. Please sign those before you leave. I've always been a proud person, a proud professional educator in the state of Idaho, and I raised my 4 children here because Idaho has been a great place to do that. But I fear, that Idaho will no longer be looking after the welfare of its citizens with these kinds of bills. This legislation is wrong for Idaho, it's wrong for our students, it's wrong for educators, it's just plain wrong. I urge each and every one of you to call all senators and representatives today, because they will be voting on these bills this week. Tell them these education reform bills are wrong for Idaho. Tell them you want your teachers' voices to continue to be part of the discussion about what is right for Idaho's children. Tell them to quit vilifying and demeaning Idaho's educators and do not take away their fair employment and collective bargaining rights. Tell the Tax and Revenue Committee that it's not Idaho's new normal, and to find a way to raise revenue today. Help ensure Idaho schools remain strong and our students continue to receive a high-quality education from their highly qualified educators. Thank you very much.